the United States is considering a significant policy shift. The government is drafting an executive order. This order would impose hefty fees on Chinese ships. These fees would apply when these ships dock at US ports. They could also apply to ships operating in US coastal waters. The proposed fines are substantial. They could reach up to $1.5 million per vessel. This fee could escalate to $3 million for each port call made by a Chinese-built ship. This move has sent ripples of uncertainty through the global trade network. This policy targets ships made in China. It also targets fleets that include Chinese-made vessels. This plan represents a major escalation in trade tensions between the two economic giants. It has the potential to reshape the landscape of global shipping and trade. The impact of this policy extends beyond just China and the US. It has the potential to disrupt global supply chains. These chains rely heavily on the efficiency and affordability of Chinese shipping. This new policy could lead to higher costs for businesses and consumers worldwide. The ramifications of this policy are far-reaching and complex. This situation demands careful consideration. The interconnectedness of the global economy means that actions taken by one nation have ripple effects across the world. Understanding the motivations and potential consequences of this policy is crucial for navigating the future of global trade. The proposed port fees are driven by several key factors. The US government aims to revitalize its shipbuilding industry. This industry has fallen behind China in recent years. By making Chinese ships less economically viable, the US hopes to boost domestic shipbuilding. Another goal is to curb China's growing influence. This influence extends to both commercial maritime trade and military presence. The US sees this policy as a way to counter China's expanding global footprint. Additionally, the US seeks to protect American jobs. It also aims to level the playing field in global trade. The government argues that Chinese shipbuilding benefits from unfair subsidies. These subsidies, they argue, give Chinese companies an advantage. The US wants to address this perceived imbalance through these new fees. Finally, national security concerns are also cited as a justification for the policy. The US government expresses worry about China's growing maritime strength. They aim to use these fees to bolster the country's own maritime security. The proposed port fees have already sent shockwaves through various sectors. Shipping costs, particularly for bulk commodities, have surged. This increase is due to the uncertainty and potential disruptions caused by the policy. US coal inventories have swelled. This is a direct result of the policy. China is a major importer of US coal. The new fees make American coal less competitive in the global market. This situation highlights the immediate and interconnected nature of global trade. The agriculture market is also grappling with uncertainty. The US is a major exporter of agricultural products. Many of these products are shipped on Chinese vessels. The proposed fees threaten to disrupt these exports. This disruption could lead to higher prices for consumers globally. Chartering ships for exports has become more difficult. This difficulty is due to the uncertainty surrounding the policy. Shipping companies are hesitant to commit to routes. They are unsure about the final costs and regulations they will face. This hesitancy is causing delays and disruptions in the supply chain. Section 4. Long-term tremors, a costly rivalry. The long-term consequences of the port fees could be even more significant. US exports, particularly of bulk commodities like coal, soybeans and wheat, could decline. This decline is due to the increased shipping costs. These costs make US goods less competitive in the global market. American consumers could face higher prices for imported goods. This increase is a direct result of the fees. The costs will likely be passed down to consumers. This would result in a decrease in purchasing power for American households. The policy could disrupt global shipping efficiency. This disruption would negatively impact all trading partners, not just China and the US. The interconnected nature of global shipping means that disruptions in one area can cascade throughout the entire system. The fees could lead to a shift in shipping routes. Ships might start bypassing US ports altogether. They might instead opt for Canadian and Mexican ports. This shift could result in job losses and reduced revenue for US ports. Section 5. A chorus of dissent voices against the fee. The proposed port fees have drawn criticism from various sectors. Fossil fuel and agriculture industries have voiced strong opposition. They argue that the policy will hamper their export capabilities. They also fear significant job losses in their respective sectors. Shipping companies have also expressed concerns. They worry about the increased costs and potential economic harm the policy could inflict on their industry. They argue that the fees will disrupt global shipping and hurt businesses worldwide. US business groups have warned of negative impacts on the American economy. They argue that the policy will lead to higher prices for consumers. They also fear it will make US goods less competitive globally. They see this policy as counterproductive and ultimately harmful to the US economy. Section 6. Asia's trade network under strain. The impact of the US port fees extends far beyond American shores. The policy has the potential to disrupt global trade, particularly in Asia. Many Asian countries rely heavily on Chinese shipping lines for their exports and imports. Intra-Asia trade, which accounts for a significant portion of the region's total exports, could be particularly vulnerable. The increased costs and potential disruptions caused by the fees could stifle trade within the region. This situation could lead to increased bilateral cooperation and intra-regional trade among Asian nations. Countries might seek alternative shipping routes and trade partnerships to mitigate the impact of the US policy. The port fees highlight the interconnected nature of global trade and the ripple effects that unilateral actions can have on other regions. It underscores the need for cooperation and dialogue to address trade concerns in a way that benefits all parties involved.